Well, after a 7-country, 60-company adventure around the world, Laura Garrett has done her homework and is ready to help you cash in on new frontiers. She is the Wasatch Frontier Emerging Small Countries Fund Manager, joining me now from Salt Lake City and a Fox Business exclusive. You went and saw 60 companies in 7 countries. Where did you find the best opportunity?
You know, really we're finding opportunities all across frontier markets. These countries have large populations and very high-quality companies that fit the Wasatch process of companies that we seek.
Okay, let's talk about some specific countries. What about names like, what about Pakistan? What about the Far East? I mean, what specific countries did you find the best opportunities? Nigeria. I know a lot of frontier folks talk about Nigeria.
Well, both Pakistan and Nigeria have very similar population sizes. Pakistan has close to 200 million people, and Nigeria has 170 million people. Both countries have consumer markets that are growing rapidly, and we find great companies in both of these countries.
Do you worry, though, about, and I get this question all the time because I've always been interested in frontier markets, do you worry about politics? Are you concerned when you go into these, it's kind of the oh man factor, somebody described it to me. I land on the plane in XY country, and I think to myself, oh boy, am I going to get shot if I go on the tarmac? Do you worry about that kind of stuff, Laura?
You know, surprisingly, each one of these countries as I've visited them over the past few years have positively surprised me. You know, the media paints a bleak image of some of these countries. Pakistan was a surprisingly pleasant country with nice people, and we found the companies there to be absolutely stellar.
All right, the majority of your holdings are small caps. The question I also get a lot is, how do I invest? Besides doing a fund, it's very difficult for U.S. investors to buy into specific, especially smaller cap companies in some of these frontier markets, correct?
It is very difficult. It's very difficult for us as a firm to get trading authority in these markets as well.
How do you do it, though? I mean, because you've got the fund, you're offering these companies in your fund. And I will say it's a new fund. You only started in January, so I guess the jury is going to be out as to whether or not the frontier names are going to perform for you. But how do you set up these relationships?
You know, we have a fantastic operations and compliance department that does the work for us. And when we go on the ground in each one of these countries, we research this as well. So, you know, it's a great process by our operations and compliance team to get these countries set up for our investors.
Let's give a couple of examples of companies that you are investing in right now. Arwana is one of the companies, a small, I believe it's an Indonesian company. Tell me about this one in particular.
Yeah, it's the market-leading tile company in Indonesia. And what's, you know, interesting about these markets is that they're nascent economies. This is a 100 million market cap company with the potential, I think, to expand 8-fold over you know, a long-term horizon for investors that have the patience to, you know, to place some money in this stock. It's just a great company, high returns on capital, self-funding growth with a dividend as well. So it's a really excited, undiscovered name.
Arcos Dorados, again, this is a consumer name, Latin American name. Talk to me about this one, because it seems that a lot of the companies that you're putting money into are consumer names. You know, you're trying to play that growth prospect over in these, frankly, some of these emerging market, frontier markets.
Yeah, this is actually one that U.S. investors can hold. It's an ADR. So Arcos Dorados, it's McDonald's in Latin America. It's actually McDonald's largest franchise overseas. It has absolutely great growth potential because of demographic factors in these countries, young populations, you know, a great emerging middle class story. So, you know, and it's a well-managed company. The you know, management team has been long-term members of the McDonald's franchise. So it's a very good story.
One more. I'm almost out of time. Mercado Libre, they're in Argentina. It's like an eBay. Laura, the big question here, why not just buy eBay?
You know what? You just have great, nascent, growing middle-class story in these markets. And, you know, if you think about internet penetration in the frontier, it's just not what it is in the U.S. So that also gives you a driver for potential future growth.
All right.
Companies, net cash. It's a great story.
It's a very interesting story and a very complex story, and compared to eBay, I guess, well, there's a piece of the story anyway. Laura Garrett's fund manager of Wasatch Frontier Emerging Small Countries. Thank you very much for coming on the show. Very interesting.
Hey, thanks so much for having me, Cheryl. Really appreciate it.